So it's our barometer of wave height is usually the pool, and today the pool is a wave pool. This is pretty heavy seas out there, so I don't see any water splashing out, but probably getting close. So rough seas today. I'll go outside and see what the wind is like also.
And in case you're wondering what the ship does in rough weather, well, it goes through it. We have places to go, things to do. So they just tie down everything on the deck and plow right through it. If the waves are real severe, they may slow down a little bit. But for the most part, they'll put stabilizers out and just run right through the weather.
To give you an idea of the wind today, I'm going to walk out on the deck real fast. I'm going to have to do it pretty fast because the waves are splashing up on the deck. I'm going to give you an idea of the waves in a second. But first, the wind. Let me go outside. A little too much water out there today, but the doors you could barely open. It's pretty windy, not as windy as I thought. We had one day with 65 mile per hour winds. Today's only about 40.
As far as where we are today, we're right in the middle of the Drake Passage, the roughest seas in the world. This has the highest seas and the strongest winds of any place, and we're going right through the middle of it, in between two large storms. And we're going to try to thread the needle right between the two storms and go through. But as far as what's happening today, I'll let our cruise director, Ed, tell you.
Starting in about 15 minutes time at 10 a.m., join your shops team for their shop clearance sale. It's going to be a lot of really good deals up there on Deck 3. At 11 a.m., join Graham Ayers for his final talk about the Falkland Islands, Islas Malvinas. That's going to be on the main stage theater, and it will live stream into the Rolling Stone Lounge and your Stateroom TV. Also happening at 11 in the Explorers Lounge is the under $500 and more art auction, so join them there. Some really good deals all throughout the day. And finish up your morning with the spa up at noon with the hair show. Whatever you choose to do, I hope that you enjoy and join Graham in the main stage for his presentation on the Falkland Islands at 11 a.m.
Today is mainly a day of us watching the waves. We're curious to see what the waves are going to be like. Well, I haven't been sick yet from seasickness, and Cheryl hasn't either, but she sometimes gets car sick or motion sickness from riding a bus. So we brought everything we could think of to help us in case we get seasick, and I'll put a few pictures of that at the end. Here you can see me looking out the back of the boat. And if you watch the horizon, they say that that's the thing to do if you're feeling motion sickness. And you can see it go up and down. Granted, it's foggy behind us, but you can somewhat make out the horizon. And watch the swell of the boat going up the hill and back down the hill.
Let's break free. We could fall asleep where the land and ocean meet. Wake up to the sounds of no one around. And as the sun comes up,
and watch these people walking. They're trying to walk a straight line, but the motion of the ship is just throwing them off a little bit. Sometimes you'll just run into a wall, not meaning to, it's just the ship throwing you off. The worst, though, is walking up and down the stairs. If you're going up the stairs, sometimes it feels like on a roller coaster whenever that the bottom drops out. You're just kind of free falling.
Just you and me. Oh,
And today is our port lecture on the Falkland Islands. That is, if we're able to get there. And as you'll hear later on, there's a chance we may not be stopping in the Falkland.
Lady Elizabeth, and that was a 3-masted bark that was built in 1879. It was hit very badly going around the Horn, and it broke. It ended up. It had a big load of Oregon pine. It was heading to Africa with that pine, and it ended up with men overboard and masts broken and a lot of drama. But you'll see that shipwreck there. Other shipwrecks certainly within the area, just attesting to the ferocity, I guess, of the seas at time around the Drake Passage. And
the next few slides are of wildlife we hope to see in the Falkland Islands. But as me and Cheryl were eating lunch, the captain came in with an important announcement, and the weather forecast has changed for the Falkland Islands. Turns out they're forecasting winds of 40 miles per hour, but the port closes with winds of 30 miles an hour. If we get off the ship and the winds increase, the ship will leave, with or without us. They're going to blow the horn, and we all run back to the ship and get on as quickly as possible before it leaves.
And 05635 west. Currently, the Oosterdam is cruising along with a speed of 15 knots on the northerly heading of the South Atlantic Ocean. Since departing Ushuaia, we have traveled 1,623 nautical miles with an average speed of 60 knots. To reach Port Stanley, we still have to cover another 267 nautical miles. The weather, a newly developed low-pressure area just south of Cape Horn, is generating strong westerly winds in Drake Passage and on the Falkland Islands. This evening, I expect cloudy skies with a chance of rain, a gale force blowing from the west, average velocity between 35 and 45 knots, which is force 8 on the Beaufort scale. Air temperature 6 degrees Celsius or 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunset tonight will be at 9:12 p.m. For tomorrow in Port Stanley, latest forecast shows cloudy skies in the morning, sunny in the afternoon, with a strong breeze blowing from the west. Average velocity between 25 and 40 knots or force 7 on the Beaufort scale. Temperatures are rising 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 5:08 a.m. Now the average swell is increasing throughout the day. We have approximately 4 meters or 12 feet swells. These always have one hand free to hold on to the railings. If we were in an airplane, I would have switched on the fasten seatbelt and we would have suspended service in the cruise ship. Since departing Elephant Island yesterday afternoon, we have been sailing on a northerly heading directed to Port Stanley approach. I expect to be abeam of Pembroke at 6:30 tomorrow morning and be on our anchorage at 8 a.m. Around 8:30 p.m. last night then, we finally left the Arctic region. Port Stanley, being the capital city of the Falkland Islands, houses just over 3,700 people, including a permanent military garrison of about 1,200. Its main industries are fishing and tourism. Average temperature throughout the year 6 degrees Celsius or 42 Fahrenheit. Average wind speed 25 knots. Now some extra information for our call tomorrow. The weather forecast for tomorrow is calling for wind speeds up to 45 knots. Since last season, the Port of Stanley has new safety regulations in place where the port can be closed when sustained winds above 30 knots are observed, even when guests are ashore. Furthermore, if tomorrow you hear the ship's whistle continuously sounding, please make your way to the tender pier for a return to the ship. This means the weather is deteriorating and the Oosterdam needs to head for open waters. As the Oosterdam is too big to be accommodated alongside the dock, we will be offering you a tender service, which takes approximately 30 minutes one way. When in the tenders, I do expect you to follow the instructions of my crew, as this is for your safety and they act on my behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Have a pleasant afternoon and evening on board of the beautiful and elegant Oosterdam. I hand you now over to your cruise and travel director, Ed.
I was going to take you outside and show you the waves now. They're a good bit bigger, but all the outside decks are now closed. So from the lower decks, we cannot go outside. We'll have to try
going outside from an upper deck later. But for right now, all the lower decks are cautioned off. We can't go outside. And this is what the back of the ship looks like now. If you look off at the horizon and the bars on the handrails of the ship, you can see how much that we're rolling. This video isn't sped up or slowed down. This is actual speed to give you an idea of how much that we're rolling now. Yep, we're rocking pretty good. As I'm walking around the ship looking at everything, Cheryl, like I say, she gets car sick. So she's staying a little bit more in her room today. So not a whole lot of going out for her. But she had plenty of medicines to take, just in case she started to feel nauseous. But luckily, she didn't. Tonight we did something different for dinner. We went and had dinner with friends that we made on the ship. From Canada, way up north, eh? And it was an interesting evening. It was nice talking with them, but you had to kind of think of what's going on around you as the servers were walking around trying to keep their balance with all the waves and the occasional dish crashing around you. So yeah, it made for an interesting evening. That's probably some of the biggest waves that we've seen cruising. And we've cruised a good bit, but that was an interesting evening. And since we were with new friends, I forgot all about taking pictures of tonight's dinner, but I'll give you a hand of what I ate. Both me and Cheryl had the Caesar salad, and both of us had the lobster and filet mignon. The only thing I did manage to get a picture of was dessert. And seeing our kids like to hear me butcher words, for dessert, I had the banana tatin, or however you say this. And Cheryl, well, she had something even better. She had the chocolate croquant praline. I can get the last word, praline, I know. Chocolate praline it is. As the day comes to an end, we have some huge waves. I'm videoing this inside, and yes, the wind is whistling underneath the door. And we probably have 12 to 15 foot seas now. Probably the highest seas that we've ever seen. And the ship is rocking pretty big. So, yep, we are having the Drake shake now. But we still have birds flying along with us. They're unfazed by the wind. And I can't go outside right now. They have all the outside areas closed. And after all the rocking and waves today, I thought Cheryl may be a little bit queasy. But nope, she powered right through everything. Of course, she stayed drugged up on all of her drugs and chews and everything else that she takes. But she did not get sick. And I have to say, this was by far the biggest waves that we've seen on any trip. And this is number 43, I think, cruise. So we've been on several cruises. This is the first time that we had waves this big. So I'll show you the rarity of these waves. And I told you I would show you what Cheryl takes to keep from getting motion sickness. This is an over-counter Bonine. You can pick this up at any Walmart. This sclopamine is a prescription. Get it from your doctor if they can prescribe it. C-bands, also over the counter, found at Walmart. And this ginger chews. We buy them online by the bag because they're just good. Another one, ginger ale. Anything with ginger in it helps. And green apples. They have this on the buffet at the restaurant. I hope you enjoyed watching us bobbling around on the ocean all day today. We didn't do a whole lot of stuff fun, but after all, it beats work any day. And thanks for watching, and tune in for another exciting video as we are on our way to the Falkland Islands.